Well, we just found out Saint Nick got a brother, and he's a total dick. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Gearbreaker Nation, where we give excellent assessment and reviews. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing Krampus. Krampus is a 2015 horror comedy directed by Michael Dougherty, and it follows this young kid named Max and his family who being assaulted by this demon called Krampus after Max loses his Christmas spirit due to his family squabbling. And I have to admit, this film was actually a bit better than I thought it was going to be. For one thing, the performance was actually pretty solid. I liked everybody. I thought everybody pulled their roles right, even though most of them play those same roles in different movies. Adam Scott generally played Adam Scott. Toni Collette plays Toni Collette. David Koechner plays David Koechner. And Conchata Ferrell plays Conchata Ferrell. All the actors just do a pretty good job, but for the most part, they all generally play the same characters that they do in other movies. But despite the acting, for most part, most of the characters are unlikable. Almost everybody in this film were total dicks. You don't like them at first. The only person that's actually decent is Max and his grandma. They were like the only two characters. Everybody else squabbled about the littlest things, or they didn't care about Christmas as anything. So, but the movie, for the most part, does flesh them out as characters and actually improves upon them as the movie progresses. So they do become more likable, which is attributed to the situation that they get thrown in. And it's great to see them actually function as a family as all of this stuff is going down. The story is pretty good. The movie does sit here and touch on the tones of what Christmas is, you know, about family, about sacrifice. It actually does it in a really cool manner. I like the way the story also balances the dark fantasy aspect with the horror aspect and a bit of comedy, even though I do think the comedy really wasn't necessary, because there are several situations in the film where the comedy is put into it, but it was not really needed. Like, there were many instances where one character would say a one-liner before something happened, and before they could do it, because of the fact that they said the one-liner, even though it was kind of funny, there are several instances where somebody says a one-liner, but it feels like a very inappropriate thing to say in that certain time period. Now, let's talk about Krampus. Krampus was actually pretty badass. Krampus was actually pretty menacing. I really enjoyed the portrayal of this character, this creature that sit here and punishing these people and is dragging them off one by one. It was big, it was menacing. I like the way that the weight that the character had to the creature. I mean, if you sit there and look at it, I mean, when it walked, it was like really had weight to it. You can see some of that is attributed to its size, to the way that when you see it, you don't actually see all of the creature. You see its silhouette. You don't see its face. I like the fact that they did it. And also, what made the thing really menacing is when it walked. When it walked, you can tell that this thing was like really weighted down. When it walked on the snow, it was like a heavy thudding sound. When it was walking across the rooftops, you can hear it had a really thudding sound, like it was actually going to crash the roof in from its sheer weight alone. I thought that was really cool. The overall design of the creature was really good. The one thing that I didn't like about the creature was its face. I really would have preferred had they just kept his face in the shadows. Maybe had his eyes, maybe you could see like glowing eyes and you could see like the beard and everything, but keep the rest of his face in silhouette. I didn't care too much for the image of the creature's face. Krampus has toys. These toys are demonic toys. I thought they were pretty cool. They set up a really great thread. There was some really good scenes with those. And I was really impressed with the practical effects they used in this film. They used a bit of CGI, but it isn't overused and it's done really well. The practical effects were done really well also. There are some very suspenseful moments in this film where there were just long drawn out silences because you didn't know what was happening, or there would be a silence and then there'll be a small noise here and there and you're trying to figure out where it's coming from along with the characters. I thought that was done pretty well too. Really, some of the gripes that I had with the film aside, besides the fact that I think that the comedy was really placed in the some very awkward moments considering what was going on in the film, is also the fact that some of the character decisions, which I would, chalk that up to the script, were didn't really make sense. For example, there is this one scene where the blizzard is going on and the daughter wants to go visit her boyfriend who stays a few blocks down. The parents allow it, and it's like, it's a blizzard going on. I don't understand why the parents would let that girl go walk to her boyfriend's house, especially by herself. But I have to say, Krampus was actually a very entertaining movie and one surprisingly good Christmas horror film. In fact, I might attribute it to be the best Christmas horror film I've seen in recent years. It does have some good acting, very good horror themed elements, practical effects, and CGI. Krampus itself was a pretty menacing antagonist of the film, so I have to give Krampus a 3 out of 5. This film is definitely a movie I would see again. I'm not sure if I would actually go buy it, but it's still an enjoyable watch. I definitely recommend this movie to people who love horror. So in the comment section, guys, let me know, did you like the movie Krampus? Did you think that he was really menacing? Did you like the premise of it? Also, have you seen any other movie that's horror themed Christmas movie or a Krampus Christmas movie? And remember, guys, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. To the next edition of Gearbreaker Nation, keep those gears turning.